October 27, 1962. A Soviet submarine deep beneath the Caribbean Sea. The air is thick, the heat unbearable, the crew is suffocating. Above them, American destroyers drop depth charges like thunder. Inside the sub, 3 officers stand over a single button. One word from them, and a nuclear torpedo launches. World War III begins. 1 billion people die. 2 officers say yes. 1 man says no. His name was Vasily Arkhipov, and you've probably never heard of him. This is the untold story of the man who stopped the end of the world with nothing but his voice. Rewind 13 days. It's October 14th, 1962. An American U-2 spy plane photographs Soviet missile sites in Cuba, 90 miles from Florida. Nuclear warheads pointed at American cities. President Kennedy goes on national television. The world holds its breath. The U.S. Navy forms a blockade around Cuba. Soviet Premier Khrushchev refuses to back down. The Cuban Missile Crisis has begun. But here's what most people don't know. While diplomats argued in Washington and Moscow, 4 Soviet submarines were already in the water, heading toward Cuba. Each one carried a nuclear torpedo. Each one had orders. If communications with Moscow were lost, the captain and 2 senior officers could authorize a nuclear strike. 3 votes. That's all it would take. On submarine B-59, those 3 men were Captain Savitsky, political officer Maslenikov, and flotilla commander Vasily Arkhipov. Arkhipov was 36 years old, a naval officer, quiet, disciplined. A year earlier, he'd survived a nuclear reactor meltdown on another submarine, radiation poisoning, burns, watching men die. He knew what nuclear fire looked like up close. Now, he was about to face it again. October 27th. B-59 has been underwater for days. No contact with Moscow. No idea if war has already started. The submarine is running out of air. The CO2 scrubbers are failing. Men are collapsing from heat exhaustion. Temperatures inside hit 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Some are delirious. Then the depth charges start. Boom, boom, boom. American destroyers above them hammering the water with explosives, not to destroy, but to force the sub to surface. But the crew of B-59 doesn't know that. They think they're under attack. Captain Savitsky is drenched in sweat. His eyes are wild. He's convinced war has begun. He's convinced they're about to die. He makes a decision. "We're going to blast them now," he shouts. "We will die, but we will sink them all. We will not disgrace our Navy." He orders the nuclear torpedo armed. Political officer Maslenikov agrees. 2 votes. The weapon is ready. A 10-kiloton warhead, 2/3 the power of Hiroshima. 1 launch and the American fleet above them is vaporized. 1 launch and the Soviet Union retaliates. 1 launch and the world burns. All they need is the 3rd vote. All eyes turn to Vasily Arkhipov. Imagine that moment. The heat, the noise, the fear, your captain screaming, your crew dying, the enemy above you, everything in your training, your loyalty, your survival instinct telling you to say yes. But Arkhipov doesn't. He steps forward, calm, steady. No. Savitsky erupts. "We have no choice." Archipov's voice cuts through the chaos. "We do have a choice. We don't know if war has started. We don't have orders from Moscow. If we launch, we start it ourselves." The room goes silent. He continues. "We surface. We make contact. We confirm. Then we decide." For a long, terrible moment, no one moves. Then Savitsky lowers his hand. The order is canceled. B-59 surfaces. The crew gasps fresh air. American ships surround them, but they don't fire. There is no war. Not yet. Not today. Vasily Arkhipov just saved the world, and almost no one would ever know. The submarine returned to the Soviet Union. The crew was debriefed. Savitsky was reprimanded for surfacing. Arkhipov, he went back to work. No medal, no parade, no recognition. For decades, the world didn't know how close it had come. The story stayed classified, buried in Soviet archives. It wasn't until the 1990s, after the Cold War ended, that the truth came out. Historians interviewed the survivors. They pieced together what happened on B-59, and they realized if Vasily Arkhipov had said yes that day, you and I wouldn't be here. He died in 1998, quietly, at home, age 72. Most of the world still doesn't know his name. Here's the thing about heroes. We remember the ones who did something, the ones who charged into battle, who gave speeches, who changed history with action. But sometimes the greatest act of courage is not acting. It's standing firm when everyone else is ready to pull the trigger. It's saying no when the world is screaming yes. Vasily Arkhipov didn't fire a weapon. He didn't win a battle. He stopped one. And in doing so, he gave humanity a future. History remembers the wars we fought, but it often forgets the wars we didn't fight and the people who made that choice. That is the untold spirit.